Thank you everyone who joined us today. So we are talking about I would say a hot topic nowadays. So we are talking about the Revenue Cloud. This is kind of a new-ish product of Salesforce. Not completely new, but it's definitely, some people like to call it an updated CPQ, CPQ on core and other names. But it is really important to talk about it nowadays, not from the technology only standpoint, but also from the strategic revenue operations side, because this tool does provide a lot of capabilities that are needed in order to be to do good on this competitive market and to provide your customers with the highest level of product of service. So I'm really glad that we all were able to carve out the time to spend talking about the Revenue Cloud from Salesforce today. So thank you for joining. I know our customers are joining us today, our Salesforce partners. Um, we are glad you're here. Again, any questions afterwards? You can find me on LinkedIn or Yuri as well, and you can reach out to me by email. Anything works. So let's dive into the topic. But before that, who are we? Who are me and Yuri? So I'll introduce Yuri. I'll start with that. So you know why we took the liberty on ourselves to talk today about the Revenue Cloud. So Yuri is actually our RCA team lead at Red Tech. And before that, Yuri completed plenty of CPQ implementations and has already completed RCA implementations as well. He's leading our learning courses. He's leading the team who is working on this product implementations at Red Tech. And in just real life, he loves to build e-bikes himself. So manufacturing, by the way, is one of our top industries that we implement. So Yuri does well in manufacturing himself, and yeah, he does know all the processes so well. I'm surprised. I'm often surprised at this.
Thank you, Maria. And yeah, manufacturing also one of my topic here as well. So let's meet Maria. Maria Saviak is our my favorite account executive because we work a lot on RCA deals. She has more than 9 years experience and she dog lovers, love dogs. And the most important thing, she loves marathons. So if you run and she's running coach, if you want to run with her, just drop a message and maybe you will run together, right, Maria?
100%. I'm running Chicago Marathon in a few weeks. If anyone here is running too, let's connect for sure. But yeah, this is my basically a second full-time job. I love it same way as I love helping businesses to grow with Salesforce technology. And just briefly about the company, about Red Tech. So yes, we're based in Chicago. We started originally in Ukraine, so we have two offices in Chicago and in Lviv, Ukraine. And why again we are experts, and we can say about that we are experts in RCA because CPQ is a top product that we have implemented throughout the years. We are on the market for quite a long time, more than 12 years. We are Salesforce's summit level partner, which is the highest level of partnership with Salesforce. It is achieved through um, um, different levels and different credentials that has to be achieved. We specialize in, yes, CPQ and RCA that we're talking about here today, but also other industry and product specific directions like Data Cloud, Experience Cloud, building portals, Agentforce, recently a lot. So feel free to reach out and to talk more if you have any questions about how we can support your business and in this journey. Um, Agenda, what we're going to cover today about RCA. I would love to start talking about the latest updates that there are now additions of additions and pricing for Revenue Cloud. If you've attended, or we have also these resources on our YouTube channel and website, we have previously had webinars on RCA2, and previously there was only Revenue Cloud Advanced, which was previously also revenue lifecycle management. So now we have different editions of it. I'll talk about that and other recent updates, why it matters to consider and to look into this tool sooner than later. Yuri will show us a great demo how we can much more easily combine different pricing models in RCA. So you will see different use cases of what can be done in RCA. We'll talk about next steps, how our team personally, what we do with the customers who transition from CPQ to RCA, and questions, of course, in the end. Feel free to save your questions and put it in the box, and we'll talk about this later. Let's dive in. So talking about the recent updates. So now we have Revenue Cloud Growth and Revenue Cloud Advanced. Salesforce itself, if you go to their website, there are right now also different names. So you can see Revenue Lifecycle Management, Revenue Cloud Advanced, and now we have Revenue Cloud Growth. So these two have different pricing, and these two are the most recent updates. I think it makes sense because they do provide different functionality. Some of the businesses, they do not want or do not need to put like contract management on the Salesforce platform, or they already have it on some other platform. As you can see, Revenue Cloud Growth includes product catalog and price management, actual CPQ process, and then order and asset lifecycle management. Anything beyond the once the order is created is not included in the Revenue Cloud Growth. And there is also Revenue Cloud Advanced, which includes all of this, and then the steps for the revenue operations that are needed, like a contract lifecycle management, billing schedules. And please pay attention that this is not actual billing. This is only billing schedules based on the milestones or some specific order completion steps, but not the actual billing, payment recognition, or so on. Then we have really important piece that is revenue management intelligence. It is powered by Tableau in Revenue Cloud. It looks amazing. It provides us with great sources of with a great vision of into the whole revenue lifecycle management that is happening on Salesforce platform. And the other also quite important piece that is available in Revenue Cloud Advanced Edition is Agentforce is available, and it does include Agentforce templates as well in the Revenue Cloud Advanced Editions. So this is important to know. The pricing for Revenue Cloud Growth and Revenue Cloud Advanced, as per Salesforce's website, is $150 for Growth, and Advanced is $200. I'm sure this is something that you can discuss with your account executive at Salesforce, but those are one of the latest updates to the platform. And the next one important updates are Revenue Cloud Events. What is this, and what does it provide us with? So Revenue Cloud itself is created because revenue operations are evolving. So many businesses are moving now to subscription to new, more convenient for customers pricing model. So that would be subscription, usage-based pricing, and so on. Revenue Cloud as well. So Revenue Cloud Advanced is a metric that allows businesses to extend their Revenue Cloud consumptions beyond the capacity that is included. And this is important because when we're talking about the headless API and how Revenue Cloud can be put on the customer-facing application, whether it's commerce platform, whether it's a partner portal or mobile application. This is one of the really greatest things that Revenue Cloud gives us. Then it increases its consumption by a lot. And you can grow and scale with Revenue Cloud to the extent that is needed. There is basically no limit how you can use a Revenue Cloud. But what is important to know here is Revenue Cloud also allow non-quoting users to get access to the non-quoting capabilities of Revenue Cloud. So if, let's say, you want your procurement team to have access to the contract management part of Revenue Cloud, this can be done through Revenue Cloud events. Important to also highlight that internal and external use of Revenue Cloud Advance, they're different. So for anything regarding quoting, CPQ part for internal users, you do not actually consume events. So because you have RCA for that, right? But if we're talking about the document generation, DRO, or invoice management, if you are on the RCA, then events start to be consumed. And when you put RCA on the external facing platforms and your customers or partners do quoting themselves, then events are also consumed, and it's important to think about that. There is certain amount of events that are included in the addition, like just with the Revenue Cloud licenses, so they're shared among the org. And your account executives at Salesforce can always help you to get more events if needed for your specific volumes of business. So there is no like, if you hit the limit, it's not the end of quoting for your business. It always can be extended, and it's flexible according to how your business is growing, scaling, and doing business. Revenue Cloud billing. If previously, when Revenue Cloud was only launched, it was a part at some extent of Revenue Cloud Advanced or Revenue Lifecycle Management. So now it's clearly a separate part, as it previously was at CPQ, a separate part of the a separate product. And it makes sense because Revenue Cloud billing is a huge functionality. So you can see here on the slide, it provides so much more. It's basically a sort of accounting system if you want to create and put most of your team members on Salesforce. Subscriptions, invoicing engine, custom tax calculations, payments, payment recognition. So it can be connected through the feature that is called Salesforce Payment, and you can basically see all of the payments in Salesforce. Credit management, collections as well. So Revenue Cloud billing is a really big portion of these process, and it is separately, and the pricing for it is also separate from the Revenue Cloud Growth or Advanced. This diagram here is helpful to see and understand what addition is actually, what addition fits better for your business, because sometimes, again, like contract management can be on a separate platform and you just want to keep it there, right? So Revenue Cloud Growth might be a better choice here, but also to understand what Revenue Cloud Advanced provide you with. And personally, I think that dynamic revenue orchestration, revenue management intelligence, the Tableau powered dashboards, and Agentforce, of course, are critically important pieces of the Revenue Cloud Advanced tool. So I hope it's helpful to see how those differentiate in terms of the flow of revenue operations. Briefly, why it is important to think about this now, because revenue operations and revenue landscape is evolving, and businesses are starting to rethink and re-strategize their operations. So this is a diagram to differentiate sales and revenue operations and what includes which parts of the CPQ and beyond of the CPQ. And if we're thinking about the revenue operations in the broader term, it also includes marketing, as we know, and customer success, because it also contributes to the revenue operations. Revenue Cloud provides us with the possibility to automate and to have all this process on one platform so teams can collaborate, and there are much less cracks where this can fall through. There are much less manual efforts, and this basically leads us to the main advantages of RCA. That would be higher revenue, time savings, your customers are happier, and so on. And thinking about why is it important now, I would suggest also to kind of like separate it into two columns, thinking, okay, what is the value if I go into the platform right now, and what is the risk if I don't? So talking about the value, yes, beyond just technical reasons that Revenue Cloud is now on core, headless API, there are things like automations and efficiencies. This is not something that is easily achievable, right? And talking about from the implementation standpoint, as well as then use for your teams or customers or partners, if you put it on the external facing side, it is much easier and efficient to work out of RCA. AI readiness is a big one right now, so it's important to ensure that the platform you build can actually work with AI and can be powered by AI agents across every stage of your operations. We have personally built amazing RCA and agent force proof of concepts, and we can already see how this is going to work for our customers. Omnichannel selling and self-serve, what was previously not that easily, or some use cases not achievable at all with CPQ. So you can sell across any distribution channel. You can again grow and scale, even if right now you're not doing this. In 2 years, you decide to sell through distributors. It can be done with the RCA, so it ensures your flexibility and readiness for growth. And real-time insights, actual readiness to readiness to make decisions based on the data, to trust your data. These are just few of points of the value that RCA brings to the table. And then risks, yes, manual processes are still there, whether you're using different siloed system for quoting or simply Excel. We've seen this case many, many times. This leads to higher costs, this leads to inefficient process and disconnected data as well. This is one of the main reasons for putting it all and creating of like the reason beyond creating RCA. The data works for you now. There are no more inconsistencies. Um, and yes, talking about the revenue side, you do not miss renewals, you do not miss upsells. There is no possibility of actual revenue leakage because the invoice was missed to send, or the contract had the incorrect clause for invoicing, and so on. Revenue Cloud can help you to monitor, track, enhance, and basically seamless revenue operations with the technology and as it has to be. Yes, I think this is the part now where I pass it over to Yuri, and Yuri will present us with the demo. Yuri, over to you. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you, Maria, for a great explanation regarding RTA. And also one thing to consider if you're thinking about like CPQ RCA moving forward, Salesforce also have a great deals now, right? So whereas a better time to switch, it's today. So let's talk about our RCA in more practical way. So today I will show you one example how we can manage subscription products and also one-time products, how we can sell them and also renew. So here our example, we have a customer who has a request for buying the watches for the employees. And let's go ahead and create a quote for this customer. Uh, it doesn't have any assets, so basically it's a new customer for us, and we just simply want to sell them. So let's give it a name, tech watch, and let's select our opportunities that I previously created for this and also pick an account. So we created a quote, and as you see, maybe you notice that it's not a CPQ quote, it's not a custom object. Basically, it's a standard quote object as well as quote line is a standard object. Why? Because we moved from a managed package to the core functionality, and now we're say based on the core, and that also allow us to bring Agentforce to have seamless API. We have easily we can connect for external sources and show data as needed. So now is saying much simpler here as well. So we have a quote line items. So obviously we don't have yet one, but this is a view for our quote, how we can create and add those products. And what we're interested in is actually adding some products. So let's go ahead and click on Browse Catalog. And since it's a new quote, we need to select the price book. Let's stick to standard. And now what you see, it's completely new way of selecting products. It's basically resynced and it has more better user experience. You can see different catalogs on the left side. You have a categories. For example, I could have like multiple categories, like for software, hardware. I can have like categories for each products and even subcategories to a lot of levels, right? So it makes a navigation through the uh, catalog much more easier and user friendly. So let's go ahead with our example and add 10 watches. So first, and also as an upsell from the sales, I will add like 10 more subscriptions to this quote as well. So we have new quote line items as a 2. Let's click on save and add this to the quote. So system adding this now to the quote, and we have our products here, right? So we are selling our watch and also we providing a services, subscription-based services, and we want to define terms. We want to define a start and end date. Of course, it's here. We can do so. And in this case, what I want to do for this particular customer, it's providing him with our top level subscription, top level service for some trial period, and that send this for the payable. So what I'm doing here, I'm creating what called RAM deals in a Salesforce now in RCA. So previously you may heard about multi-dimensional quoting. So it's kind of similar now in RCA, but allow us to have more flexibility, for example, in adding a trial period, right? So let's say we want to sell it for 12 months, that will be annual, and we want a trial period for the customer, means they don't need to pay for the time and they will use it. Maybe they love it, right? That we actually think. And then they want to upgrade for the more time. So when I click on generate, we have new segments. First, for trial period, when we have start and end date for 3 months, 90 days, and we have a discount as 100% because it's a trial. And then we have rest of the months here as a payable. So let's go ahead and save it and add to the quote. So now we have this subscription as a segment. So if you point to any of this icon, it will show that this line is ramped. So you only seeing the first segment and you need to go to the ramp to actually see the whole picture here. So let's say you get an internal approval. I will go just simply to that step, and you also send this quote to the customer generated PDF, and customer are happy with the pricing and everything, and they basically accepted it. And now we can move forward with this quote because we kind of want it. And what would be the next step is actually creating an order. So an order is basically a finished quote. So when you define all the terms with the customer, all the pricing, products, and everything is settled, so we will need to create an order to kind of finish the deal. So for order activation, we need to fill the necessary fields. It's a billing and shipping address. And once we do that, along with the bill to contact, we can activate the quote. So, and sorry, activate an order. Let's activate. And let's go back to our account. So when I previously showed you account from the first time, it didn't have any assets. So as of now, you see that we have assets for this customer. We have our subscription plus, we have Red Tech Watch, along with the standard subscriptions that comes with the product. Um, what is different here that previously in CPQ we had like kind of subscription for subscription object for the subscription and assets for the one-time product, kind of physical products. Now it's all assets. It's only defining what type of assets. Is it subscription or just standalone product, physical products that you one-time sell for the customer as well. So let's move forward in time. In 3 months, customer reach out to you and saying, okay, I like your product, but it's too pricey. I probably cancel subscription. And we get a notification in the Salesforce saying, okay, they want to cancel subscription. Of course, from this view, managing asset, we can easily select this one and click on cancel, and that would be it, right? But we don't want to do that, right? We want to actually upsell for the customer and ask them, so why you want to cancel? And they mentioned that it's price too high for them. So let's see what we can do. I'm selecting now an asset and picking a date in the future, basically when the trial will end and we will start our amendment process. So what I want to do, I want to change this subscription, and instead of giving like just free trial, I want to provide them with discount. So what I will do in this case for the older product, you see this is quantity 0 and the quote is 0 because customer already paid for that and used. So I'm going to ramp deal and actually change the quantity to -10. So basically taking out this. So when you're canceling any product subscription, and CPQ does this automatically, but once we want to amend this, we will do this manually, put in like -10, and then we will add a new product because we want to add something and change. So I'm going to browse catalog again and selecting the same product, subscription plus, and adding to the quote. So now here's my deal for the customer. With a new product, I want to provide them with a 40% discount in the first year and a 20% in the second year. So basically the offer like this, I'll provide you 40% discount for the first year, and for the second year, I'll provide you with 20%, right? But you will need to buy for 2 years, right, instead of 1. So this is a kind of deal that I want to give them. So let's put those numbers and click on update segments and click on save. So now we will have basically new subscription product. We taking out first one that didn't like because of price, right? And now we're going with the second with the subscription plus. So this is the same flow. It just approves this, customer accept, and we go again to the order. So once we have an order, that is becoming interesting because now CPQ is taking into account what was previously sell and what we have now. So I'm as well filling necessary fields and activating an order, because on activation of the order, system actually create an asset. And look into this. So let's mark status and active. And let's go back to our account. So let's see, update the page. And now we have a new asset. So pay attention here. On the first product, we have 0 price now because it's 0 out. And second product is price for 700. And we have our subscription plus. So what we did here, basically we updated customer that didn't want to actually prolong or pay for our services. We offer kind of different deal, and we easily can do this with amendment Also, what we can do from this view, we can select any assets and renew. So when it's coming to the end, we can renew it with one click, and Salesforce RCA basically create for us quote and doing this job on backend. So we can focus on actual selling and not wasting the time trying to figure out how to do this in the system. So this is how we can use RCA. Yeah, it's one example. Of course, RCA goes beyond that, and we have kind of different session that where we discuss dynamic revenue orchestration. It's also really interesting. And now this is how we can manage subscription. So thank you guys. Maria, over to you.
Thanks, Yuri. I think it was great, and thank you for this demo. Our main goal was to show you how a few of the use cases, what can be done in RCA. But again, as Yuri said, there is so much more, and we could spend many, many webinars, especially if we dig into the Revenue Cloud billing. It can be the whole learning. But to wrap up this all was for those who are on CPQ and are considering RCA. First of all, I want to say that the new product is, yes, it is amazing, but it doesn't mean that if you had CPQ, you have to run right now to RCA. It is a great idea because, yes, the sooner you do it, the more benefits. And again, like there more risks you're avoiding that we spoken about just a few slides ago. You're saving the revenue, your margin is protected, your teams are happier, and again, they can focus on actual selling, not on talking between sales and finance and operations. So it's a strategy that has to be worked on and achieved. But when we work, so right now we're working with many companies who are considering the move, and I would say what is important about these transitions? Yes, there are core similarities, of course. So because the core objects like a product, right? The pricing, those things are the same. Price books, quotes, they were in CPQ, then are in Revenue Cloud, whether it's gross or advanced. They are there. So even though there is this overlap, it is important to map out. And what we do, we actually look at current CPQ configurations and document and map it out in terms of, okay, this is how it is right now, what's working, what's not, right? But then when we go to the differences to consider, like it is, I often hear the phrase migration from a CPQ to RCA. It is a migration though, because you're moving from one to not like one tool to another. But it's not a migration in the way, okay, you connect it to system and like it just naturally flows into the new one. It has to be built in RCA with consideration of the previous system, yes. But since it's now on core, it cannot be just transitioned there in some way. There is a good degree of the compatibility. RCA, as we just spoke again, it brings much more to the table. So there are things that even though they were existing there too, they have to be restructured, reconfigured, or done in a different way, not just because it's like the beyond the scenes, it's like that, but because in this way, it will bring you much more value. And a critical step, as I said, is mapping out, creating this data strategy whether you're moving from CPQ or you just want to adopt RCA, map data to the new structure. So at RedTech, we always review the system. We always discover and we also map out the business process. So later we can combine the technology and the business strategy of where the business is now and also where it wants to be in 2 and 5 and later years. So it can all be done again in RCA right now in the way that later will save you money and will help your business to grow. So talking about the long-term ROI and value realization, yes, first of all, it's revenue growth and forecasting. Revenue operations, CROs, they can make much better decisions having all of this data, having the visibility into this data. Teams can actually collaborate and all of the processes are smoother and faster, which then reflects on your customers. So they can get their product or service faster, their customer success services are better. As Yuri also just showed you, all of this, for example, can be put on the external facing portals and your customers can do a self-serve with the capabilities of RCA. So higher customer retention in the long term, I see as one of the biggest advantages of RCA, because the happier your customers are, the more customers you later get, and the the higher profitability of your business. Yes, we're talking about the cost savings too, because there are less manual processes, there are actually less time needed for all of this. So sometimes with RCA, and it's a case with having contract lifecycle management there as well, less tools are needed. So you do not need any external third-party tools as well. It's all on one platform on core. And scalability. There is no point that in 5 years RCA will not be able to adapt to the flexibility that you want to achieve for your teams and customers. New pricing, new product models, and so on. This is the level of customization that RCA gives us, and we see it because we implement it and we get the access to all of the updates and new product features first as Salesforce partner. So we do believe in the product and we do see how it already changes revenue operations for some customers. So basically, I'm glad that I've saved a couple of minutes for us for Q&A. We hope that this was helpful. And again, let's connect, add me on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out. We are happy to connect and to support your business in this. So I would say challenging time, but it's really not when you put a lot of thinking and strategy and expert knowledge into this. So we are happy to contribute and to help you with this. Any questions, please put them in the box. I know we've had few during the webinar, but we are happy to answer right now. So Yuri, I think most of the
Yeah.
questions are here for you. If you can go through, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So I can do so. First question, from where we can create customer-facing document, what are the different options provided to generate document? So yeah, I believe, can you stop sharing, Maria, for us just a sec? I will share my screen and show this, because obviously it's okay to hear, but definitely better to see how it looks like. So basically here, our quote, and we have in general two options for generation a document. First would be a document builder that is coming with Revenue Cloud Growth, and you will see something like this. So this is a kind of basic quote PDF. Yeah, you can toggle, you can add like more columns to it and move like subtotal, discounts, and whatsoever. It's possible. So this is one option. It's basic, but it's working, and for a lot of customers, it's just fine. And also we have a second option here. It's called Omni Studio. So basically, it's a separate tool, and you can generate any document from any object in the Salesforce, bring in data from 3, 4, 5 objects with data raptors, and then build really beautiful PDF. So answering that question, we have two options, more advanced and more basic here. Okay, And next question. So what we have in the case of future dated cancel, example, next month, will the account manage access screen be time intelligent? Until next month, the current pricing would be used and the new pricing would be used. So if the question, for example, if you renew, for example, or amend, and the time when you create that amendment or renewal quote, the new prices will be picked up from the system. So in terms, if like from time being price change, so in this case, that will be picked up by system and basically used for the new quote. Um, Next question will also be demonstrating the renewal process since we lack on time. So renewal process was demonstrated, but quickly just to show you, it's kind of similar to amendment. We have a new option, and what RCA does, it create a new quote, renewal quote for that, and you have a product with a pricing with the same quantity, and for the new period of time, basically when you have first asset ending, for the next date, it will be start date for the new quote. Okay, I hope this answered your question as well. And we have next one, I
Yes, I
believe.
have actually just answered this was in the chat. Hope it helps. I know we have 2 more minutes, so this one we have all the questions answered. Again, like if any other just pop up in your head or you will be watching the recording and you have other questions, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn or by email. Um, in the meantime, thank you again for joining. That was a great spend of afternoon for me in Toronto, but in Eastern time. And I hope for all of you wherever you are. Let's stay connected and let's all learn more about the RCA and upcoming updates. Again, thank you for joining.
Thank you guys. See
Bye.
you. Bye.